Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, September 6th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and I'm joined by Big Marcel. And he's just having a little bit of connection issues getting on here, guys. So he'll be on in a second. But I see Tristan's in the chat. What's going on, man? How's it going, guys? Yeah, no, so we'll be here for a little bit. It is Labor Day today, guys. So I'm sure a lot of people are taking the day off and totally understand that and hope you guys are enjoying your day off. But no day off for me. And for Marcel, he wants to do the podcast too. Like I said, kind of having some issues with his audio, but hopefully he can jump back on a few minutes or something like that. But we will be recapping UFC Vegas 36, Brunson Till, which turned out to be a pretty interesting card, I guess you could say. Some upsets on that card, obviously. And there was some other MMA that went on this weekend. I'll try to get Marcel's opinion on some of the stuff. Like One Championship had some stuff happening there, kind of sketchy. Also, Dana White's Contender Series from last week, we didn't get a chance really to recap that. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Let's see. Marcel, are you there?
Yeah, you?
There you are. There he is. Hey, Tristan, what's up, man? So Marcel's here. Tristan's here. You can hear me, Marcel? You're good?
I can't hear you.
You can't or you can?
No, I can't hear you. You're just like a robot to me.
Really?
You're just like a robot.
Can you hear me now?
I hear something you say. I only can hear. Yeah.
You can hear me now?
Still a robot.
Tristan, can you let me know if you hear me or not? Because this is really bizarre to me. I can hear Marcel.
People can say.
Tristan says he hears it.
People can say here in the chat. Well, do you hear clearly? Do you hear?
You can hear us, Marcel. I'm pretty sure it's on your end, man. I'm pretty sure it's on your end. It's not a big deal. Let's just try to make our way through the podcast, okay? We'll try our best today.
Bro, I really don't hear you.
All right, let's start with the main event, Marcel. Are you there? Hopefully you can hear me.
I don't hear you, dude.
Marcel, I don't know what to say. It's not. I don't know what to say. I'm talking. Tristan hears us. He's in the chat.
You can talk all you want. I don't hear you.
Anyways, this is a little strange. I'm not sure what's going on with Marcel's end. Tristan, just let me know if you can. It sounds like you can hear me. Hopefully you guys can. This is really weird. Sorry about the technical issues, guys. This is not obviously the way I wanted the podcast to start. Yeah, no, I'll try. I don't know. Can you hear me, man? Tristan, just let me know if you can hear me, because personally, I could hear Marcel. I could see you in the chat. You are in the chat, so just let me know. Okay, so he says he can hear me and Marcel. I'm just going to go, Marcel. If Marcel joins, hopefully he does. If not, whatever. I'm going to start with the main event. We'll just work our way down the card. Derek Brunson, Darren Till. Let's give me thoughts on this card, on this fight, I should say. Tristan, you give me your thoughts on the fight too, man. I mean, it was an interesting fight. Derek Brunson, I think really in that small cage, this wrestling style plays well. There's no doubt about it now. 5 straight wins, and a lot of them came in the UFC Apex. So it seems like this wrestling style really plays well in that small cage. The guy's looked phenomenal lately, man. You know, this is a guy that honestly I've counted out so many times in his career because he's been knocked out so many times, because he's had some bad losses. But the guy keeps getting better at an older age 37. And he's still getting better in the sport. So it's pretty damn impressive, man, if you ask me. So this win over Till obviously is huge for him. Getting the finish, too, is very, very big, in my opinion. I think it's really key. I think that's massive for him in his career, man, personally. Is it going to get him a title shot? I'm not too sure. But, you know, I think he's definitely, you know, in the running, I guess you could say. I think that the fight with Candeliro makes more sense, though, personally. That's the fight I would do. You know, I think that, yeah, you could give him a title shot, but we have seen him fight Izzy before. He got knocked out. And, you know, Izzy and Robert Whittaker aren't fighting until like January probably, right? January, February. So I'm not too sure. You know, I think that he should take another fight. I think Candeliro is the fight to make. Tristan thinks Derek has a real chance if he fights smart. I don't think Izzy can prevent him taking down. I know Darren does have good takedown defense. In this fight, he was 3 for 6 stopping the takedown. You know, overall, it's still like in the high 70s, even after this fight getting taken down 3 times. So he definitely has solid takedown defense. There's no doubt about it. But Derek Brunson's wrestling is very strong. So to me, it's like this was a big win for him. And this puts him really in a good spot in the division. You know, I think that the UFC wasn't totally sold on him. And they've been giving him some fights that, you know, he could lose, right? But he's been dominating these fights. I think getting a finish like this is big for him. You know, if he just went out there and won a decision again, like the Holland fight, I don't think that would have been, you know, what the UFC wanted to see. But getting a finish is very impressive, especially over a guy like Till, who's pretty tough to finish. I mean, I know he's been, stopped a couple times now, but you look at who he's been stopped by: Masvidal, Woodley, Brunson. I don't think those are really bad losses at all. Let's see if Marcel can. Marcel, you there?
All right, what's up?
Oh, you can. Does it work now? You can work. It works now.
Just a bunch of fucking idiots here, man. They always.
No worries. Listen, so I just gave my thoughts on the main event. I just gave my thoughts. Huh? Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, for sure. Give me your thoughts on the main event, man. Till and Brunson.
Oh man, I'm so fucking pissed now. Yeah, what the main event? Yeah, Brunson did great, like I expected, man. Like I told you, I thought he was going to do a decision, but he stopped Till. Great performance, man. Like expected, like he did over the last few times, and he deserved a performance bonus. But the UFC probably only gives him a performance bonus when he loses, I guess. So I don't know.
Yeah, they don't want to give him a bonus, it seems like. I don't even know the last time he got one. Did he even get one for Shabazian? He might have, but I don't even know, man. It's like, I don't think he did. Yeah, he didn't. So it's like, it's been a while since he's gotten one, and I feel like he probably deserved one for this performance. I feel like this is a card where you could have given more bonuses. Also, we got our boy Tristan in the chat. And this is the fight I like too. I like Brunson Cannon here, Marcel, and I'll tell you why, because, these guys, the Whitaker and they're not fighting until January now. I think that's way too long for Brunson to wait. And he's saying, like, oh, I'll fight Jake Paul in the meantime, or I'll take, maybe Cannonier, but he's saying you have to pay me, basically. I think they should ante up. And I think that what they should do is book that as the co-main event for the Adesanya Whitaker card. Then you do Brunson and Cannonier in the co-main. If someone gets hurt in the main event, you can elevate Cannonier or Brunson to the main event. What do you think of that idea? You like it?
Yeah, perfect. That's the way I should do it as well.
Yeah, I agree. And now let's talk about Darren Till, man. I mean, on the flip side, he's only 28, Marcel, but still, he's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. And the Gastelum fight, some people thought he lost that. And the Thompson fight, I mean, almost everyone thought he lost that. He really could be on like a 6-fight losing skid right now if he had different judges, which is pretty nuts because he's a pretty good fighter. I mean, I don't think he's great, obviously, but he's pretty good. And I think they've matched him up really hard in his career. I'd like to see him get a step back. And I think going back to 170 might be the right decision, Marcel. What do you think, man? Because 185, he has no chance if he can't beat a wrestler like Brunson. He's got no chance to be a champion in this division,
Yeah, the problem is they probably rushed him way too quick, man. He won the fight against Scott Cowboy, remember? And then he won against Thompson at home, which was a close fight. And then they gave him that Woodley fight, and the Woodley fight, he got totally derailed in that fight. He had no chance. One significant fight, I think. Was crazy, And after that, we know what happened, And the Gastelum fight, I think he won that fight, but it was close. It was a split decision. I remember that. But, I mean, he's probably been rushed too quick. And the thing is, when you're at the top, you only fight top fighters, And you're going to lose, man, if you're not, if you can't handle certain stuff like takedowns, wrestling, ground game. Definitely if you fight a guy like Brunson, we know his background to wrestling, so he will fall back to that. And it's tough, I don't know who they're going to match up Till with next. I would like to see him fight Kevin Holland. I think that would be a great fight, but hey, we will see. But Kevin Holland has a fight against Dawkins, so.
Yeah, if he stays at 185, I think, I saw our boy Cole suggested Uriah Hall in his article. I think that's a good fight. Yeah. That's a fight you could win. Hall's coming off a loss. But I still think that going to 170 might be the right call. I saw Bisping talking about that, and I think he's probably right. He's competitive at 185, but I don't think he's got the strength and size to deal with these big guys like Brunson that can take him down. Whereas at 170, I think he has a better chance of stopping takedowns, even though, I know it's a tough weight cut for him, and his chin kind of is not great at 170. We'll see what happens, but I hate to say it because he's only 28 years old. We've seen guys like Michael Bisping, like Charles Oliveira, like Rafael Saunders turn their careers on, Marcel, but I got to be honest with you, I don't see a future champion in Darren Till. I don't think I ever really did, but I thought, he'd be a good fighter for a long time. I still think he's not elite. He's just below that level, but he needs to turn it around because, getting finished in this kind of fashion is not good for him, Honestly, Marcel, that first round, that was some nasty ground pound by Brunson. I thought the fight was going to be stopped at one point,
I 10-8. Nobody had 10-8.
Easily. How did no judge score that 10-8? That blows my mind. Clear 10-8. What else do you have to do to 10-8 a guy? I know he didn't drop him, but he took him down, smashed his face in, tons of control, and doing things the whole time. It's not like he was just lane prey. He was smashing the guy's face. Totally a 10-8 round, in my opinion. All right, let's go to the co-main event, Marcel. And our boy, Tom Aspinall, continues his rise, man. This guy is just phenomenal. Another knockout win, 4-0 now in the UFC. Marcel just destroyed Serghei Spivac with a nasty elbow, first round finish. Marcel, I'm saying I don't think Till's going to be a champion. Man, I think Tom Aspinall is the guy from England right now that's going to be the champ. And Tristan, I see what you're saying, but I had to connect the dot back to Aspinall. I was kind of saying everyone's been pushing Till as the next Michael Bisping, basically. I think it's Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall is the guy that could be a champion in the sport. Only 28 years old, Marcel. Gets better every fight. Super fast, super powerful. And Marcel, again, I tell him this all the time, he subbed Arlovsky. That is such a huge win. Not only did he beat him, finished him, subbed him. And that's the win that showed me this guy's the next level of heavyweight. So I think that he's the guy from England to win the belt. What do you think?
Yeah, but Arlovsky, it kind of sounds disrespectful, but he's actually the perfect gatekeeper right now to see if you belong at the top of the division, if you're going to go further than that, And Aspinall showed, and man, Tom Aspinall, or how I like to call him, Frankie Mir, he's like, he pretty much looks like him, that's why. I mean, he looked great again, and he stopped Spivac. It's what we pretty much expected that he would do. And he called out Blagoy Ivanov, and I think that's a very smart call out. It's one step, he's one ranking above him. It's perfect. He doesn't have any time to rush. He can, how do you say it, slowly build himself to the top. And I think it's perfect, man. Dude seems like a really smart guy as well, I think. Knows what he does. And I really like Aspinall. I think he's one of the brightest prospects in every division for sure, and definitely for Europe.
Yeah, no, I like this kid. He's only 28 too. Like I said, guy's really good. And Tristan, he says that Spivac should not take the fight. I agree. It's a fight that it's hard to turn down. I think if you are Spivac, because you get a chance to fight the guy in the top 15. He was in shape for the fight. It's a tough matchup. Now Spivac's only 4-3 in the UFC. Marcel, like, I don't know what to think of Spivac. Like, I think he's to me he's a kind of a gatekeeper, but he's young, right? I think he's 26. He can still get better. It's just, I don't know, man. He doesn't seem to take damage well. Then second time he got knocked out in the first round, Marcel. I don't know. It sure seems like he doesn't have a great chin. But if he fights a guy that he can wrestle, he can win. You know what I mean? So any thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't a good performance, but we saw in some fights that he looks good, For example, the Jared Vanderlei fight was amazing. But if you look back at his debut against Harris, he got absolutely destroyed in that fight. So it's like sometimes he looks good, sometimes he doesn't. Very inconsistent. But we'll see. That was a short notice fight, so don't want to put too much. How do you say that on that? Stock on it. But I mean, Aspinall is a good fighter, and we knew that. So, he showed it.
I agree. It's just that when I look at his career, it's like he got completely destroyed by Aspinall, Harris, and Tybura beat him every round too. So, to me, he's just below those guys. So, he's like in that 15 to 20 range in the division. And I like the Aspinall-Ivanov fight because Ivanov's never been knocked out, Marcel. He's never been finished by strikes. That's a very good fight to see if maybe Aspinall can knock that guy out. Hey, Jose, what's up, man? He says, good afternoon. And then he says, Spivac took short notice fights against Harris Aspinall. Same happening. He's a warrior, but needs to be careful in these situations. I agree. And he needs a team to protect him, He says, Spivac in a full camp would have been a different fight. I agree, Tristan. I think you probably would have had a better gas tank. And maybe, I don't know. It's just hard to say, like, if he gets hit again, you probably just get knocked out, right? So I just think it's more of a case. I don't think it's this fight actually said Spivac's not great. I think it just says Aspinall's really is a special guy. I think he really is special. He's got the knockout power. He's got the submissions. I think he's good. This next fight, Alex Moreno, David Zawada, Marcel, decision, close fight, but Moreno basically a little bit sharper, I think, in the striking. Any thoughts on this one?
It's weird that I thought this should be fight of the night. No disrespect.
It was a pretty good fight. I don't like both guys definitely, took some damage. They walked forward, but it was a close fight. It was competitive. I think that if anything, it should have been Arosa and Jourdain personally, but this was a pretty good fight. Any thoughts on the fight though, and Moreno getting the win?
Yeah, it was a fun fight to watch. I think Moreno showed that he's very underrated, in my opinion. Zawada also showed that he's very gritty, and he's not 1-4 in the UFC.
Yeah, does he get cut or no? Do you think they give him another fight?
I hope they give him another fight because he's a lot better than his record shows, and I think he's been competitive in all of his fights. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then just give me your thoughts on Moreno. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, Moreno, good show again. I mean, again on short notice, didn't look good. I really like Moreno, man. I think Moreno is one of the underrated guys in the division. That's probably also to do with his losses to Anthony Pettis and Chaos Williams, But and Jordan Mean, I remember that as well. But overall, He normally looks very good, He's very solid, and he did very well on this one.
Yeah, he's 9-4 down the UFC, and that's a good record. And then David Zawada is 1-4, right? But I think Zawada is better than his record shows. Jose says, according to Bisping, Till tore his ACL 10 weeks before the fight. I didn't know that, but that sucks, and I guess it kind of makes sense for his performance. Tristan says he's heartbroken when Zawada lost. I'm guessing, Tristan, you're from Germany, so you got your boy Zawada. Who else is a German fighter right now? We got Stoltzfus. I think he's German. Anyone else? Is there anyone else? I know my boy. Who are you gonna say? Nicholas Stoltz?
Nicholas Stoltz. Stoltzfus.
That's another guy. And then I had my boy Pascal Kraus. He was my buddy, and I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. I mean, he's been retired, I think, for a few years now. But that guy had a fun career. And I got to meet him once when he came to Toronto. I interviewed him in person. It was awesome. It was like 10 years ago. But a guy I really like from Germany.
Jose says, Mandy Boom. Don't forget Mandy Boom. She makes a
yes, next week. We'll talk about that fight. Spivac potentially mauled Felipe and Tuvesa. He did. Like I said, if he can wrestle you, he'll win. But guys like Aspinall that can stop takedowns, you're in trouble. Yeah, we got Mandy Boom. 2 more weeks. Okay, we got to talk about this fight because I mean it seems like there's controversy. From my end, there's no controversy, and I feel like it sucks kind of because to me this was just an absolutely brutal, nasty kick, and I think this guy should have won $50,000. We've never seen this kick end a fight before in the UFC. I'm talking about Khalil Rountree finishing Modestas Bukauskas by oblique kick. You want to call it side kick to the knee, whatever you want to call it, stomp to the knee. I mean, listen. John Jones has made a career of doing this. He's never finished the fight, but he's hurt guys. He hurt Rampage. Rampage complained about it. People have complained about this kick in the past, but here's the thing. We've never seen a guy get, injured from this technique until now, Marcel. So, why is everyone, in a rush to ban this kick? Guys, there's already a lot of rules in the sport. If you go to the unified rules, there's 27 unified rules. Isn't that enough rules? Do we really need any more rules? I think we're good. We've already got rid of, knees to the head of the opponent, a bunch of other stuff over the years. I don't think it's a good precedent to get rid of this kick because it's too hard to police. You're kicking a guy's leg, you're kicking his thigh, you're going to hit the knee at one point. I understand people are saying the stomp to the knee, it's just that particular stomp. I get it. But again, when have we seen a guy get injured until this fight from this technique? I don't think so. I think it's getting way overblown. People forget that the sport is fucking brutal. They go in there and beat the shit out of each other. They punch each other in the head. They kick each other in the head. You're going to get kicked in the leg too. Guys, Chris Weidman broke his leg on a low kick. Conor McGregor broke his leg on a knee. You're going to get injured in this sport. I'm sorry that Modestas got hurt, but if you ask Modestas himself, he has no ill will towards Rountree. He said it's a clean technique. I don't see the controversy. I'm bothered by it because Khalil, to me, is being called a dirty fighter. He did nothing dirty. Read the rules. There's nothing in the rules that says you can't do this kick. I'm sorry, Marcel. I got fired up this week, Marcel, just because Khalil, to me, he needed this win. He got an amazing win. Brutal leg kick. One of the most brutal I've ever seen in the UFC. And people are calling him a dirty fighter and saying he's bad karma now. I don't agree with it. Give me your thoughts, Marcel.
First of all, this is absolutely legal, but I fucking hate the kick, But it's absolutely legal, so you can't blame Khalil for anything, he pulled out a legal move, so it's a legal move, it's a good win. Even Modesta said, no worries, it's a legal win. So, I mean, it's a legal win, you can't say anything about it. If you ask me personally, do I like this kick? No, I don't like it for the simple reason that you put somebody out of commission for 10 months, maybe a year, and you can be out for this can be career-ending damage, in my opinion, And then people will say, yeah, but you can also give somebody CTE or you can break his nose or whatever. Yeah, that's true, But this is really, this is a kick to injure somebody, in my opinion, And I understand it's legal, so no disrespect to Khalil at all. I mean, perfect TKO KO, and he deserved that 50K, in my opinion. But the thing is, for me, actually, I talked earlier today on the Dutch podcast. Gilbert Ivel, former UFC fighter, talked about it, and he was like, "This, in his opinion, the kick should be banned." He said, "In no other sport than MMA, this kick is legal." He said, can be career-ending. This is so dangerous. This kick, if you hit somebody in the right way, so actually in the wrong way, but in the right way, you can absolutely damage the leg, and there is no way back. Sometimes, So I can't agree with that. But on the other side, I side with you as well. It's legal, and as long as it's legal, you can do it, and you shouldn't be blaming the guy who did it because he put out a fully legal move. So I'm kind of 50-50 on it. You know what I mean?
That's fair. No, I totally understand what you're saying. It's just, for me, it's like, this is a brutal sport, guys. You know, when people get punched and kicked in the head, that's career changing too. That changes your brain forever. So I just think that, you know, it's just because it looks visually bad, people just forget about what they do when they're getting hit in the head and what's going on underneath here, you know? I get what you guys are saying. It's just, you know, there's a lot of moves in MMA that are dangerous. Knee bars are dangerous. Heel hooks are dangerous. Jamal Emmers a few weeks ago. Remember that? I get it. You can tap out to that. Well, you know, here's my defense. You can check kicks, and Modestas didn't check one single kick in this fight. He just let Khalil kick him in the leg, and it was bound to happen. Anyways, you know, Marcel, it is a slippery slope. I get both sides of it. Just for me, because it's a legal move, I don't think calling this guy a dirty fighter is fair at all. Anyways,
I agree with that fully with you. That's bullshit.
Let me get these comments. Hey, Owen, what's going on, man? He says, what about Patty? We'll talk about him in a second. Versus the fellow knocked out Roberts 3 weeks ago. Ignacio Bahamondes. Love to see that. That'd be a great fight. Owen also says, I remember people talking about Bang after Whitaker messed up Till. Yeah, I mean, people have talked about Bang this kick for years, a lot longer than that, man. You know, when John Jones used it against Rampage, that was like 10 years ago. Like, John Jones used it very well. John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. Maybe other guys need to, you know, look in the rules and see what they can do that they can do legally. Maybe John Jones is just smarter, and maybe Khalil is just a smarter striker, you know? I get what you guys are saying. It could be career-ending, but again, my argument is a lot of things then they could be career-ending. And we've never seen a fighter get devastatingly injured from this kick until now. But I feel bad for Modestas. I hope they give him another shot in the UFC, but I don't know if it happens. He's 1-3 with a couple knockouts. What do you think? Do you give him one more shot? Do you think they give him one more or no?
They should have been 2-2, you know. But
yeah exactly.
I don't know how the UFC looks at it, man. But yeah, I feel so bad for the dude, man. He's still so young, and he's one of the good guys.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and I'm sure you saw like them backstage. He's like, you know, they were super cool to each other and very respectful. Okay, let me get this comment from Jose. Alex Pereira signed with the UFC was the Alex Coop. Yes, it was. Yeah. That was Al's scoop. It wasn't signed with the UFC. It was the Andres Michelevi's fight. That's the scoop he had.
Yeah, that's the scoop.
He said Khalil versus Menefield or Knight. Yeah, I mean, those fights both make sense. I think Menefield will be a good fight. That's the fight I was thinking about. They both kind of like look very similar. They both fought really well in their last fights. Any news on a Sunsell? Haven't heard anything. I mean, he was supposed to fight Kyler Phillips and got injured, and then haven't heard anything. But kind of like the gatekeeper 135. Okay, we got to talk about it. Now, you called it, Marcel. Paddy Pimblett beats Luigi Vendramini. I was wrong about this one because I picked Luigi, but it sure looked like Luigi was on his way to knocking this guy out in the first minute or two of the fight. And I don't know what's going on here with Luigi. It's like, it seems like maybe his durability is not great because he's been knocked out twice in the UFC, but I feel like this guy's not a bad fighter, and he's 1-3 now. But Paddy knocked him out good, man. I got to give Paddy credit. It was a nice win. Great finish, and well-deserved $50,000, obviously. And the guy really betting himself, guys. Like, he took a lesser contract from the UFC than what he was making in Cage Warriors. And I think the bet paid off. This was a big win for this guy. The only thing is, I'll say, I just caution people, there's going to be a lot of hype behind him now. And you see a lot of the media promoting this guy, which I don't necessarily agree with the media promoting certain fighters. I don't like that. I think that you should promote the sport and all the fighters, not just certain ones. But it sure seems like there's a lot of the media that are really gung-ho for this guy to succeed. And he's definitely got that, like, Conor McGregor style of, like, talking and stuff. But I still don't know how good this guy is, Marcel, honestly. He got rocked really hard. He did show a good chin, but I think he fights someone better. Like, if he fights the Bahamondes guy, I don't know if that fight goes well for him. So just give me your thoughts on Paddy Pimblett, Marcel, because I know obviously you guys have had some talks the last few weeks.
I come back on that media thing after I give my my view on the fight. Luigi rocked him, man, but he made a terrible decision in taking him down. I don't know why he did that. And Paddy could recoup from that, and he came back, and it's a good comeback win from Paddy. But you got to be critical at it as well, and not because I have had how do you say that, the fight with Paddy, but he didn't look good at all in the beginning of the fight. But he came back very well. He has a big heart, and he overcame adversity, and he finished. So good for him, good debut, you know. The thing that really bothers me is the media, and I told you that as well. Certain people, I'm not going to say any name, but you just have to look at Twitter, and those people have like 6 or 7 tweets behind each other over Paddy. It's like you already gave Luigi almost zero coverage in the upcome to this fight, you know, and now you're like, man, these guys are not Paddy's nuts, and it's absolutely crazy, you know. They are just they are so afraid that he becomes somebody big in the UFC, and then they're saying like, yeah, I was on him from the beginning, and they want an interview and that kind of stuff. Let's cut the crap, guys. I mean, was a good comeback win, solid performance, not really solid, but a good comeback win. I don't mind he got the 50K. I mean, he got a good debut from that win. But what's with these people, man? I saw. Did you saw this with Terence McKinney when he knocked Favola at 8 seconds? Not like this.
No, I didn't. Sorry, I thought you meant that Terence McKinney called him out or something.
Yeah, I know.
That's a sick fight. That would be a great fight too. Yeah.
But did you saw the media coverage from McKinney? No. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't make sense to me, you know? And I understand why they do it, but it really pisses me off, to be honest. And it's not because it's Paddy, I don't mind, you know. Yeah. But I would say that with anybody else as well. And they are trying to create some kind of a thing that he is like, he's like Conor McGregor too, you know, the new Conor McGregor. That's what they're trying to make. And that's just stupid, you know. The guy is not Conor McGregor too. The guy is Paddy Pimblett, and he is on his own. He's trying to build his own legacy. And actually putting more pressure on the dude than he already has, you know. So I don't know, but guys, if you don't know what I mean, go to Twitter, check certain people's accounts. I'm not going to say any account, but you pretty much know which guys I'm talking about. And they're going nuts, man. I mean,
I don't know about this. You got to be a little bit more unbiased. Like, I'm Canadian, and you know, we had GSP, he's the greatest fighter. I don't remember me and James and stuff going on about this guy every fight. And GSP's the fucking greatest fighter of all time. Maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I was talking to my dad on Saturday about it. And that's like, dude, I see sometimes people from certain media, like from their country, and they're going crazy. It's like, you got to be unbiased, man, in your coverage of the sport. You know, if you want to be in the media and you want to be a journalist or a reporter, you got to be unbiased, in my opinion. You know, and you will never see me. How do you say that? Cheering for a Dutch fighter on Twitter or on social media. You don't see that. Of course, I'm happy if a Dutch fighter wins. For the country, it's great, you know, and for Dutch sport and MMA, it's perfect, you know. But for example, I can give you an example with Denise Kielholz last time out against Juliana Velasquez. The fight was super close, you know. Velasquez won. In my opinion, I thought Kielholz had 3 rounds, but it was close, so no bother, you know. But there are many people over here in the Netherlands, also media members, who go crazy about it. It's like, oh, it's a robbery, blah, blah, blah. You're biased. You know, you can still say it. You can say it's a controversial decision, and everybody will agree with you that it was a controversial decision. You know, but you can't say it's a robbery because then you're biased, in my opinion. And that's something I see a lot right now, and it's kind of bothering me, and it's not good. It's not a good thing that we see that more often. For example, from you, I never see that from you, and that's why I respect you as well. For that, you never do that. I don't do that.
Not at all, man. You know, like, sure, there's fighters that I like, you know, personally, but
me too.
To me, it's like that doesn't come at all into my play when I'm analyzing fights, and I feel like it does seep out with a lot of the journalists, especially for the British journalists. And I get it; they like the guy, they need a guy like this from their, you know, to be a next big star. But I don't know, man. It's just it's a little bit too much, in my opinion. I do think there's a little bit too much favoritism shown towards this guy, and the fact that Luigi had like literally no coverage. That kind of shows it too. Then we got these questions, guys. I apologize. Let me get these questions. Jose says Paddy went from 80K to 430K. Talk about bringing eyes. No doubt. At least on his Instagram followers or Twitter followers, something. The guy could be a big star. I get that, but to me, it's like
Ariel Helwani tweeted like he has lost his Instagram following and got to follow him on this account. I mean,
I don't know about that. Yeah, to me, it's like it's kind of strange that the media is promoting this guy's social media accounts. That's really bizarre, actually. Like, go follow this guy on Twitter. That's so weird. Go follow him on Instagram. That's kind of. I understand he got it deleted, but still, like. Anyways, for some reason, I thought I could see Paddy climbing featherweight faster than lightweight. Probably, but I don't think he's going back to featherweight anytime soon. He's growing into his frame at 155. I think he's going to stay in this weight class for a while. By the way, Owen says everyone's going to turn on Paddy the second he loses. Probably, just like they did to Conor, right? That's the thing. You just got to watch the hype. Marcel, you heard of rumblings about the next Sugar Show opponent. You got anything, Marcel? Any hint or anything?
It's again what I hear. It's again a non-top 15 guy.
Oh my God. Okay, it's Louis Smolka again, guys. That's the fight. No, I'm kidding. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Marcel won't tell me, so I don't know. Paddy versus Grutzbacher. Grutzbacher just got booked. Who's he fighting? He's fighting someone, right?
He's fighting. Let me check. Yeah, I think he's on the December card.
Yeah, he just got booked for a fight.
Claudio Puelles.
Yeah, Puelles, and I think that's a tough fight for him. Puelles is very, very good too.
Yeah.
underrated. Ismagulov Mustafayev is a great fight. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Love
Winner. I mean, really, they both should be in the top 15. Mustafayev knocked out Fiziev. Everyone forgets that. He also almost beat Riddell. It was a close fight. Sean Shelby thing, still don't know, Jose. Again, this is something that I was told about a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't heard anything since then. So I apologize, man. It's not like I'm making something up. I was told this article was supposed to come out like 2 weeks ago. Hasn't, but we'll see what happens. Let's go through the rest of the fights here. Molly McCann defeats Ji Young Kim. I was wrong with this one. I thought that Kim's 10-inch reach would really play a factor, but it didn't. McCann, way too aggressive, always in her face. Meatball won this fight, Marcel, for sure. And I think she won 30-27. I don't agree with giving Kim the first round because it wasn't a knockdown. It was a clash of heads, not a headbutt. Clash of heads, accidental. And to me, the judges should know better than that. And because they were told by Jason Herzog it was not a knockdown. So to me, it's like, okay, she didn't get knocked down. She got outstruck. To me, it should have been 30-27 McCann. Either way, she won the fight. What do you think?
I gave Molly the first and the third round. I gave Kim the second round. But still, good performance by Molly McCann. Came forward for 15 minutes, and Kim didn't know how to keep her distance, and she let Molly Kim inside. And Molly's relentless. She keeps coming forward. She has that Scarza mentality as well. Hard hitting, come forward, doesn't care if she gets hit. She just comes forward. And I respect that, and Molly is a very nice person as well. So really cool for her. She gets the 50K. I think she worked hard for it, Kim didn't look good at all, in my opinion, man. I think she only got like 20% of her striking connected from the 100%, which is not good. And I expect 10-inch reach advantage, man, and you don't do anything with it. It's not really good, and this was an unranked fight between two unranked girls. So, I mean, it doesn't look really good for Kim at all, in my opinion, this one. So, yeah, we'll see. And she did a lot better against Alexa Grasso. That's a funny thing, I think she did much better. And that's why I also thought that she could give Molly a run for her money. But no, not at all. I think good win for Molly, deserved win. And I'm happy for Molly. She finally got a win after what was the last time? 2018 in Boston, I think, against Belbita. So, yeah.
Been a while. Yep, no doubt. All right, Jack Shore defeats Ludovic Shalinian by decision. A lot of people thought he'd finish Ludovic, and he had that arm triangle in the first round, but Ludovic, very tough. And we talked about Marcel. I wasn't sure if he could finish this guy because this guy is very tough. We saw that in Ultimate Fighter. I thought Shore looked good, but I'm just saying, Ludovic he's not that bad. You know what I mean, guys? Like, he's not scrub. The odds were a little bit probably disrespectful towards him, but at the end of the day, Jack Shore is just a really good prospect. It's time Jack gets a top 15 guy, though, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure, man. You didn't caught my joke, right?
I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, I apologize. What did you say?
I said you wasn't sure if he was going to finish him.
Oh my God.
So bad. Yeah, I think, man, he almost had him, but he didn't have the space because the cage was right there, so he couldn't get the space to finish him. The thing is, Jack Shore is actually a real good fighter, man. I think he's really all round, and I think this is the thing. This is a guy I see making waves in the top 15 soon, Yep. And this is the guy who gets almost zero coverage,
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like, this guy, you talk about a guy from that part. I know he's from Wales, obviously, but you talk about a guy from, I guess, Great Britain, or United Kingdom, or whatever they call it, the area.
Just say UK, yeah.
UK. This is the guy, probably, and Aspinall, I think. These are the guys who should be getting all the coverage. I mean, Paddy's good. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Paddy talks for, but Jack Shore is really good. I think, it's 4-0 now in the UFC. He's like 26 years old. This guy's phenomenal. He also said he was injured going into this fight, guys. Yeah, bicep tear. I saw that, Daniel. So he hurt himself going into the fight. But, I think that possibly played the way into him kind of point fighting that third round, which you don't love to see. But at the same time, the guy was injured, apparently, going into the fight. And he did what he had to do to win. I think it's time for a top 15 guy. A fight like Cody Stamen, that'd be something interesting, a guy that can maybe stop his takedowns and keep it on the feet. That'd be an interesting fight. I think it's time he gets a guy in the top 15. Let me get some comments, guys.
I agree with you.
Yeah, look, Owen said the same thing. Cody Stamen or Yadong, that'd be a good fight too. Yadong's only 22, isn't it? Or 23, I guess. That's crazy. I mean, that he's got like 10 fights now in the UFC. They're not going to pro him. Hey, 10th round. He says they're not going to pro him because he's like Marab, can't finish fights. You do need to finish fights. I agree completely. I do think Ludwig's a very tough dude. I think he's very hard. No one's finished him before, so I don't think you're going to get
Ludwig, man.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad, guys. And he's an Ali Abdelaziz guy, so he'll get another fight in the UFC, I would assume. I think he should fight Brady Highstand, the two Ultimate Fighter guys. That would be a great fight. both very tough dudes coming off losses. That'd be a fun fight. There's some other comments there about the Jourdain fight, which we'll talk about. And Jose asked some questions about Gregor Gillespie. Haven't heard anything lately. Tony Ferguson moved to welterweight. I mean, he has to do something differently. Guram or Gamrot deserved the hooker fight over Nasrat. Yeah, I think they just, at this point, they were like, they need to give someone the fight for that date, September 25th. And Nasrat was the guy that could take the fight. All right, let's talk about this fight. Julian Arosa comes back and defeats Charles Jourdain in the third round by submission. Again, Marcel, another Darce choke. I looked at his resume. I think this is his fourth or fifth Darce choke now, guys, including 2 in his last 4 fights. So this is his specialty, this choke. Arosa is a guy that I always bet against or pick against. I didn't bet against him this time because Jourdain is a little flaky himself, so I just kind of stayed away. But I did bet in the fight not going the distance, and I wasn't sure for a while there. I'm like, oh my God, is this fight really going to go 3 rounds? And then, of course, it finally finished. Julian Arosa, you got to give the guy credit, Marcel. He's really turned his career around. I mean, this is a guy that this is his 3rd time in the UFC, guys. Third time, if he doesn't make it this time, he'll never come back. And this time around, he's 3-1. I know he got knocked out in his last fight by Choi, and that's one of the reasons I picked against him here because recent knockout loss is never a good thing. But he did get dropped once again, survived it, and I think Jourdain made a mistake by not trying to finish him. He let him back up and just went back to it was just like a regular fight. He rocked him. He should have tried to finish him, but I mean, man, Arosa with that choke. It's just like it reminded me very much of the Sean Woodson fight. Give me your thoughts on it, man.
Adam, I tell you, 8 days notice, submission win, 3rd round, Darce choke. No performance of the night bonus.
That's unbelievable. This guy really, I don't know what else he has to do. I'm looking at his. Okay, he did win fight of the night or performance tonight for the Woodson fight. The Nate Landwehr fight, he didn't get a bonus, and he knocked him out with a flying knee in like a minute. This guy's, you know what, man? This guy, I got to give him credit, Marcel. He steps up, he takes fights, really tough fights, and he's looked good lately, man.
You know what the funny thing is, actually? He got it in the Woodson fight, and the fight he was losing, man. I remember.
Dominating that fight, completely dominating. Yeah.
Exactly. And then he gets the performance, and now he's actually fought a good fight. I think it was 1-1 going into the third, but he fought a good fight, And now he doesn't get the performance bonus. It doesn't make sense. It feels like the UFC loves comebacks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but, I've noticed that too. Like that Kennedy and Achekwu, I love the guy, but a few months ago when he fought Danilo Marquez and getting dominated for 10 minutes, comes back to the third round and gets a bonus performance of the night. I don't agree. If they have a bonus, if they want to make one for comeback of the night, like maybe they could do that. Yeah. But to me, it's like if the guy's getting his ass kicked for 10 minutes and then comes back in the third round, is that really the best performance of the night? Anyways.
You remember Ankalaev against Craig, where Ankalaev dominated 40 minutes and 50 seconds of the round, and then Craig subs him, and he got also performance of the night bonus. But, I mean, that's what I mean. The UFC loves comeback. About Arosa, he looked good, man. I think very competitive fight, very fun fight to watch. And Jourdain made a mistake. He stood up, and he didn't watch his neck. And Arosa was so quickly with sliding that arm under his neck and getting the Darce choke. It was fully locked in. And perfect performance from Arosa. 8 days notice at 150 catchweight fight. I think he was super happy when he took the fight, and he cut down to 150. I think perfect performance from Arosa, man. Huge props to the dude taking that fight because Jourdain isn't a bad fighter at all. And
it's crazy. Like this guy's putting together a decent resume. It's not great, but he's got some good wins. Like Jourdain's not bad. Landwehr, Woodson. I mean, these guys aren't great fighters, but they're not bad. Jamal Emmers, like these are some decent names on his resume. So he's an underrated guy. Let me get these comments, guys. Arosa should always fight in short notice. It sure seems like he does better when he just doesn't have to think about the fight. I guess I don't know. He's the king of the 150-pound weight class, by the way. I don't think he's getting fed. TJ. Oh, which fight are you guys? Oh, sorry. TJ. He's fighting. Who's he fighting again, Marcel? Laramie?
Malsik Bakasarian.
Yes, that's a brutal fight for him. I love TJ again, but I'm not biased, man. The guy's probably going to lose that fight. He's Canadian. I should be rooting for the kid because all the other journalists love rooting for their hometown guys. But for me, it's like, looking at it, Marcel, like this is a guy who's probably gonna get knocked out. You know what I mean? Like it's not a good fight for him. Hey Daniel, I missed your comment. He said, "Sure, not getting the finish." I know, it's tough sometimes, guys. That's why I kind of stay away from those props sometimes, But there's fights like Jourdain, which I don't think was ever going the distance. Marcel, any thoughts on who Topuria is preparing for? Any, about that? Is it Evlov? Is that the fight? Is it Monster Evlov?
I can't say it, but it's a good fight.
What card is he on? Can you tell us that? What card he's fighting on?
He's fighting. I know he's fighting in December. So.
Okay, December. Okay. Well, I mean, you guys can look at the top 15. You can see who's out there in the top 15. Bryce Mitchell's there. Sadiq Yusuf's there. Barboza's there. There's a few other guys. So I don't know. I agree with this by Tristan too. He says Arosa's chin's better at 150. I agree. It sure seems like he can take more damage with that without cutting that extra weight. Woodson versus Melsick, TJ versus Anglin make more sense. I kind of agree with that too. Yeah, Woodson and Anglin's kind of an interesting. Probably the loser gets cut. I like Anglin, but man, he didn't look too good in his last fight. Last fight in the card, Marcel. We'll talk about it quickly. My boy Marc-Andre Barriault, once again, Marcel. This guy, one of the most improved middleweights in the UFC, defeats Dalcha Lungiambula. Great fight. Really fun fight to kick off the card. Both guys just were basically it's like a Marc-Andre Barriault fight, man. A lot of fighting against in the clinch, up against the fence. A lot of punching each other in the face for 15 minutes, and the cardio once again, Marcel, is the difference. Give me your thoughts on Marc-Andre Barriault's win.
Yeah, he needs to change his nickname from Power Bar and Duracell, man, because the dude kept coming. He kept going forward.
His cardio is crazy. It's so good.
It's nuts, and he's taking some hard shots, but he's landing a lot more. Dalcha was really looking for that one-punch knockout, and Barriault was just going forward, punching, and all. I really like what I saw, man, from Barriault. I think this is his third win in a row. Yeah, really good, man. And since he's with Sanford, he's looking very good, man. Again, a guy who was with Sanford looking good.
That seems so ridiculous. It's crazy. I just started looking ahead at the next card. There's like a few fighters on the next UFC card. They're from Sanford, so you guys can kind of know where I'm going with that one. I love that gym. They're really training guys really well there. Hopefully, that December 4th card, that card shaped you up nice. For sure, that's a nice fight night card. And then the week after is 269. Superior versus Ige, Evlov versus Emmett calling now. There you go. I mean, Emmett's really underrated. He doesn't get talked about enough. Any more thoughts on this card, Marcel, before we move on? Brunson, Till, any more last thoughts?
No, it was an okay card. Not amazing, also not bad. Just an okay card. I like it.
And again, we forgot to mention Jonathan Martinez missed weight, and the fight got canceled with Marcelo Rojo. That was going to be such a good fight. I was so sad when that fight got canceled because we were already down to 10 fights, and then that got scratched. You think they cut Jonathan Martinez, Marcel? I mean, this guy can't even make weight now. Like, this is the second time he's missed weight. Didn't make it to the fight. Do you think he might get released, or do you think they'll rebook the fight? Any thoughts?
They're probably going to either rebook it or give him another fight at 145, I think.
Yeah, I think so too, because he can't make – it sure seems he can't make 135, and he did fight Almeida at 145 and look good. Hot take from Jose. He says, if it wasn't for VJ's activity, Tyson Mob would have been a nightmare for the top 5 guys. I don't even think that's a hot take, Jose. I was so high on Maribek Tyson Mob. I saw him fight in M1 like over 10 years ago, and I thought the guy was really good. He looked amazing in the UFC, except for the fight with Michel Prazeres where he got taken down. Other than that, he looked amazing. And it's just unfortunate that, his career just kind of fizzled out, I guess you could say, Marcel. Like, he was good, eh?
Yeah, it was good, man. I think I remember he fought here in Rotterdam where he knocked out Felipe Silva within 30 seconds, KO. A good fighter, man. But I think his most recent fight, he lost to Carlos Diego Ferreira, right?
Yes, he did lose that fight, but that's a tough fight too, man. That guy's really good.
True. But that was a step up in competition, So, but I'd love to see Tyson Mob, man. I think he's a great fighter and very, very fun to watch as well.
He is. London card was stacked for all the cancellation. I agree. I mean, and again, it kind of sucks that, all these fighters like Till and Mccann didn't fight in front of their hometown. They ever make way for Dana White Contender Series, including the guy who stepped in short notice. There you go. Yes is the answer. We'll talk about Contender Series tomorrow. We'll preview it tomorrow.
We don't have much else.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be here tomorrow with Marcel. We might not go the full hour, but we'll preview the 5 fights. I'm looking forward to that. But let's talk about – I just have the last week's card out because I didn't get your thoughts on this. So let's talk about the 5 fights and 4 fights, and Dana White giving out 5 contracts, which was kind of new, I guess you could say. Let me get your thoughts on these fights. So we'll start with the card with AJ Fletcher knocked out Leonardo Damiani. Let me get Tristan's comment. No early prediction. I just started looking at this fight. I can't give you a prediction. I'm going to tell Marcel to wait on that. We'll be back. That prediction is next Tuesday, so we'll wait for then. I just want to give you my right call. I honestly don't know right now. I do know that Smith is favored. That makes sense, but Spanish is very good. Riddell versus Fiziev is a threat. Yeah, I mean, that fight, the winner of that fight is going to be, a top 10 guy.
Training partners.
Yeah, and they are former training. I'm surprised. I don't know if you saw Danny Rube. He goes, there's a tweet that he said last year. He's like, He's like, they will never fight each other. And he's like, well, this didn't age very well. Listen, like the UFC probably gave both guys a little bit extra money to take the fight. It's a great fight. I hope they got new contracts. I love the fight. Now, give me your thoughts, okay, on AJ Fletcher, because this kid to me is very good. Knocks out Leonardo Damiani with a flying knee. Highlight reel finish, gets a UFC contract. I think this kid's going to be good, Marcel. What do you think?
Dude, look fucking solid, man. What can I say else? I mean, he knocked him out with a flying knee. Sorry, Al, we have to say it. Sorry, dude. Yeah, I mean, he looked good. It was a great way to open the Contender Series, honestly, man. First fight, flying knee knockout. What else can you say? He's undefeated. He's from Louisiana. He looked good. I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do in the UFC next, man. I think I kind of have high hope for him. So, yeah.
I like the kid, too. I'm just curious what weight class he stays at, because I think this is at 170, but I know he's fought, I think, at 155 before, too. So, I don't know. I mean, it seems like he's kind of built into his frame now at 170. Anyways, the guy's good. He's definitely good, and I'm glad they signed him. It's crazy. I'm just looking at his resume right now. I mean, as a pro, he's 9-0. Most of his wins by stoppage. I'm just looking at his amateur experience. He fought on the LFA 3 card, Spann and Giles. He was on that card as an amateur, and then we just talked about Ryan Spann a second ago. So it's a small world, man. You never know who's going to really emerge from these undercards on these smaller shows, LFA or whatever. And that's why I
always tell people. Yep. If you have a ticket for a show, go from the beginning.
Because I agree completely.
There. In 10 years, you may be thinking like, damn, dude, this is a UFC champion or a Bellator champion now. And I was at this amateur fight.
Bro, the first card I ever saw in Ontario was the first card they ever did in Ontario in 2012. Jordan Meehan and Josh Berkman was in the main event. So I saw Jordan fight a few times in Ontario, but also on that card was Misha Serkinov. I think it was like his fourth fight. No one knew who Misha was at that point. I saw him fight one of his first fights, and obviously he didn't turn out to be a great fighter. But I mean, he's still in the UFC, so he's not bad at all. Just a couple more fights. We'll give our thoughts on, guys, and we'll take your comments. Victor Alton Moreno defeats Carlos Candeliro by split decision. I mean, it was a close fight. I thought Carlos won, but Dana White gave contracts to both guys. They needed flyweights, Marcel. I told you the winner was getting a contract, but I didn't expect the loser to too. I'm okay with it though. What do you think?
I think Candeliro won, so I'm actually happy Dana gave contracts to both guys. Actually, man, it's great because if Candeliro won, Alton Moreno wouldn't have got a contract probably because Dana also said. But on the other side, it sucks for Candeliro to lose that, because he was undefeated. I should have been still. But good, man. I really liked the fight. It was a really good fight, and I'm happy both guys got the contract.
Yeah, I agree. There's two more fights here. Joe Anderson, Brito defeats Diego Lopez, technical decision. Guy looked good. Man, I mean, there were some crazy submission attempts from Lopez. This guy showed amazing submission defense. It was a good fight, Marcel. I was kind of hoping they would just run it back, honestly, because it was a close fight. But if they gave him a contract, I have no problem with that. I hope they give Lopez one more fight in Contender Series. Any thoughts on Brito?
Yeah, Brito looked good in my opinion. We'll see with Lopez, man. I'm hearing he had a knee injury or whatever. I don't know for sure whatever it else was, but yeah, man. We'll see what happens. I like Brito. He looked really good, but it was a weird sequence, right, with stoppage and going to the technical decision, not scoring the last round because it was only 30 seconds in. So we got a really weird 29-28 kind of thing. With I was like, where's the point deduction? And then I was remembering like, we're only 30 seconds in the round. Yeah. So
Yeah, I thought 10-10 was fine, and then take off the point 10-9. So good call. And then the last fight, obviously the main event, Azamat Murzakanov defeats Matthias Scheffel. I mean, I don't even know why they made this fight, honestly. Like, Scheffel gets knocked out every time he loses, and you're fighting a guy who knocks everyone out. This was such a bad matchup for this dude. I mean, Murzakanov is good. Marcel, he's very good. What do you think?
I always tell you, man, when I don't understand sometimes UFC, if you want to sign a guy and don't let him fight. Yeah, maybe it's because the contract is cheaper or whatever. If they get him via Contender Series, I don't know. But yeah, man, this was actually one of the most easiest picks. I know disrespect to Matthias Scheffel, but as about Murzakanov, we know how he fights. He won the open weight tournament in Brave, and looking forward to what is next for him.
Guys, damn good. Let me get these comments, guys. I apologize. Owen says Fidel Fiziev could make main event, obviously. I mean, that's a great fight. It's not – what card is it on again? 261?
December 4th.
December 4th. Okay, it's on that card. Thoughts on Connor and Valerie, the rate of following each other on Instagram? I have no idea, man. I don't follow that stuff. That's so funny you said that, though. The heavyweight fight between Lucas and Porter scheduled for September 14th. All right, awesome.
Yeah, it's actually 6 fights on that card now.
That sucks that Lorenzo Hood, I think, he's not going to get a chance now. That's too bad. You guys know what weight class Junior Taffa will compete in? I think you asked us that last week. I'm not too sure.
I think heavyweight, but could be like heavyweight
205. Well. I think he might try 205. You know, him and his brother, his brother's heavyweight. Yeah, they're both big dudes. I mean, obviously, but maybe he can make 205. It's funny he says this. Buckley started the head kick. This is true. So Buckley knocked out Kasangane, and then DeChirico knocked out Buckley. Now Al Hassan knocked out DeChirico. So who's Al Hassan fighting now that's going to knock him out with a head kick? Because he's getting knocked out with a head kick, obviously. What else we got here? Quick thoughts on this. Pavlovich, Boser, Nass. If you want me just to rank those guys, I mean, I feel like that's actually not a bad ranking. I think, honestly, I'm probably lower on Felipe than any of those guys. Nascimento's probably a little higher than Boser, but I think Pavlovich definitely of those 5 guys is the top one, I would say. Tate Vieira. Don't love that as the main event. I mean, the fight makes sense, but people don't want to see that fight for 5 rounds. I think it's gonna be ugly if it gets to the 4th and 5th round, honestly, because man, Vieira gasses so hard in her fights, guys. Like she really does. She has a chance to win early, but it sure seems like UFC giving Tate a reasonable matchup. What are you gonna say?
You know what sucks even more? If that fight falls through, we probably got Holm against Dumora's main event. So that's not
same
thing for me.
I know. There was some other stuff that happened on the weekend. I want to get your thoughts on this. I didn't watch the card, but I know one championship had some sketchy stuff that happened. Yeah. Sohee Ham, I think she won her fight by split decision, former UFC fighter. And now Chatri Sityodong's coming out saying that we're going to, take a look at this decision because her opponent complained. Denise Zamboanga, who is a favorite, I guess you could say, of one championship. This is not the first time they've kind of did this where they've looked at a decision. I don't think it's a bad thing that they're kind of going back and looking at the calls these judges are making, or the referee in the case of the Alvarez fight with the back of the head, which was a terrible call by the ref. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily, Marcel, but the problem is one oversees everything. It's not like there's an independent athletic commission, guys. So it's kind of sketchy. What do you think?
That's the thing. He says one championship committee. Which committee? Is themselves? Who is it? Well, nobody knows. You know what I mean? It's very in the dark. So, no, I don't think it's a good thing. If it's overseen by a commission and you do people in the commission checking it and whatever, that's okay. But now it's like the promoter doesn't like what happened, and now we're going to overturn this thing. Yeah. And the thing is, in my opinion, I thought Zamboanga won as well. Don't get me wrong. I think she won as well. Sohee Ham got the decision. On the other hand, man, Sohee Ham got fucked so many times in the UFC by backbrawlings and by Daniela Taylor, where she clearly won, in my opinion, both fights, and she got robbed in those 2 fights. And now she finally is on a good side of a wrong decision, and they want to take it back from her, But still, I mean, the thing is, if this was done by a commission of a state-led commission or whatever, I wouldn't mind, But if this is done by somebody from one championship, we already favor those fighters from that team where Zamboanga is fighting in. Not a good thing, you know what I mean? So I understand that people are happy about it because they think Zamboanga won, but the way it is done is wrong, in my opinion. You got to do it with an unbiased commission who can oversee stuff, and not just one championship officials who are going to watch this like, nah, actually we want Zamboanga going further, because you cannot be taken seriously if you do that, and that's just my opinion.
I agree. I actually agree with you. Like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing that they do have some sort of process in place for when a judge or a referee messes up. But the problem is, I think it's Chatri looking at it. It's Rich Franklin looking at it. Like, they work for one. You know what I mean, Marcel? So they might be like, hey, we thought that the other girl won the decision. Then they might screw over Ham here. I don't know. 10th round's asking Giga versus Zombie. That would be such a good fight. I mean, Zombie's very durable. That'd be a fun fight. Any thoughts?
My choice. Yeah.
That's your choice? There you go. So that's your fight. There were some other events this weekend. I think there was a Fury Fighting Championship, which is a really good promotion, I would say, at this point. Definitely a good promotion. There was some
KSW.
Pardon? KSW. Yes. What happened to KSW? I didn't catch it. What happened? I didn't see it.
I saw the main event and I saw Darko Stosic, but I haven't.
Did he win again? Did Darko win?
Sorry?
Did Darko win again?
Split decision.
He's been hot there, man. He's looked really good since he left the UFC in Poland, I think. I'm looking at the card right now. So we had Roberto Soldic won again in the third round. You think he gets to the UFC event like now?
He still has two fights on his. He still has two fights on his contract. So maybe after that. And there was
I'd love to see him in the UFC. I'm just looking at the odds. Stolcic was a big favorite. Pardon?
You saw the Glory knockout. Yes,
I was going to ask you about that quickly too. What do you think of that? Because he's dominating the opponent and then got kicked with a lead head kick, a lead high kick. Never seen that really. I mean, it's a kickboxing move, obviously, but unbelievable, Marcel. Crazy.
He knocked down Rosa 3 times via body shots, and it was in 2 separate rounds, so it wasn't an official PKO. And after that, Rosa went for a Hail Mary high kick, and he landed. It was crazy. I never saw something like that. I remember I actually was watching the UFC, and I was watching kind of the Twitter feed, and I was like, "Oh, Butter is destroying Rosak." It's like, okay, that's pretty much what I expected, And then I don't know, I was like, "Oh my God, what happened here? What happened here?" It's like he probably finished, and right? I was looking and seeing this happening. It's like, what the hell is happening here?
That's crazy. Insane knockout, insane. If you guys didn't see that, go look at the clip. Paolo Pollock also won that card, former UFC fighter, Marcel. I'm just looking at the results.
He won against Janikowski. Very good win, man.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's going to be it. I think we got all the recap stuff from the weekend. I mean, there's a lot that went on. There really was. I thought Darko was the GOAT. He destroyed Jeremy Kimmel. Jeremy Kimmel, that guy was like, I don't even know why he was in the UFC. Jose says, unpopular opinion, but Walt Harris is better boxing technique and speed than Lucian Ngannou. He has fast hands, but he has 5 minutes of cardio. Actually, not even 5 minutes. He's about 3 minutes of cardio. Remember the fight with Alistair Overeem? I mean, I don't want to laugh because Walt's been through a lot, but as a fighter, the guy has no gas tank at all. Having said that, I'm glad they're giving me another fight. He's been through so much the last 2 years. That's crazy, man. Poor dude.
Yeah.
Who's Oleinik fighting next? Oh, really? That they have a fight coming up? I mean, you know what? He didn't look terrible against Spivac, but honestly, guys, like if give him one more fight, this he got to win this fight. Otherwise, he's going to Bozer knocks him out. I think he's too fast. He's too fast. You know when they're rebooking Vanderford not rebooking, but booking the fight because that was announced. Vanderford versus I don't know if you saw a picture of Paige Van Zandt, her and Vanderford taking a crap, and someone was in
what the?
That's so weird, man. Honestly, like I get that they're social media darlings and Paige has the OnlyFans, but
did you ever do that with your fiance?
Number one, I wouldn't do that, but I'm just wondering who did they pay to take the picture? And it must have smelled really bad in there too. Like,
I mean, maybe they can. How do you say that? Kind of put a timer on it, and then make the thing.
It's possible, but that's just a weird picture, man.
But I don't understand why would you put that on the internet.
It's clout chasing, man. Let me get these basketball comments.
Weird,
I thought Darko would be a player in 205. Me too, but he's a good fighter. He had that fight with Kennedy, which was really controversial within multiple low blows. One will hold the legendary kickbox tour in October. So excited! Is this true, Marcel? I didn't hear about this. That's awesome.
Yeah, you got the Petrosian is, by the way, not in the tournament. He's fighting for the title against.
Okay, fair enough.
Sauer is in the tournament. Gregorian is in the tournament.
I'll watch it. I mean, and I love it. Also, the rumor is Dan Hardy's going to fight John Wayne Parr in 1. That's the rumor. Don't know if that fight's official, but we've been hearing rumors about that. Yeah, that's been talked about. Saw James interview Kenny Florian, and Kenny said that's what he heard too. So it'd be an interesting fight. They just got to see if Dan can get cleared. Last comment: Latifi Sakai. Sure, if they want to do it.
Why not?
Sure. All right, Marcel, let's plug yourself. Let's get out of here, guys.
It's still Big Marcel24, guys, on Twitter and Instagram for your amazing and legit UFC news, Bellator news, whatever news you want to have, at MMADNA.nl, also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Follow me on Twitter, guys, at MMAOB Podcast, MMAOddsbreaker.com. You can find us at iTunes, Spotify, all those places. Really appreciate you guys jumping here today for the Labor Day version of the podcast. Sorry about the connection issues at the beginning, but I'm glad I was able to get fixed. Also, guys, follow me, bjpen.com, miaminews.com, and Elite Fantasy, Elite Sports Betting. Had a good weekend, Marcel. Even though my picks weren't the greatest, I did have a nice night with my bets because I had a couple underdogs, including my boy Khalil Rountree with that nasty kick. All right, guys, have a great day, and I'll be back tomorrow with Marcel, 4 p.m. Eastern. Peace.